fighters, we are invited to come and speak about good governance and security in Africa. But to be honest, there will never be a discussion about the security and good governance in Africa without acknowledging the damage that has been caused by colonizers and the imperialist forces. Africa's inability to be peace with herself, it is necessitated by the fact that colonialists want to exploit our minerals without being held accountable. It is the colonialists who are corrupting the leadership of Africa and making sure that those who are not corrupt are replaced by the corrupt puppets who will allow colonialism to continue in the African continent. Any battle you can imagine anywhere in the continent, it has got everything else to do with those who colonized us before. Today, they want to choose who are the leaders for African people. As we stand here today, Gaddafi should be an enemy of our people, according to the declaration of the Western imperialism. Because Gaddafi stood for our people. Today, Mugabe, who was a darling, if you think Mandela was loved, you must revisit your history and check when Mugabe was becoming the president of Zimbabwe after the defeat of Rhodesia. He was the most celebrated man. He was loved by everybody until he started questioning the issue of the land, that the land must be transferred from the colonizer to the people of Zimbabwe. But when he was not advocating for that, especially after the Lancaster Resolution, they thought he's one such a gentleman who will allow them to do as they wish, until he realized that he was going to pass on without transferring the means of production into the hands of our people. Today, every African leader who served for a very long time in Africa, we are told is a fascist, is undemocratic. This person is a dictator. But such words were never said about Queen Elizabeth, who ruled for more than 50 years. And it's not just monarchy, like a Zulu monarchy or Abatembu monarchy. It's a monarchy that has got powers on the political systems of Britain. There is no any prime minister in Britain who can proceed with anything else politically without the go-ahead of the Queen, now the King. No one of those prime ministers can declare a war. Only the Queen or the King can declare a war. But that person has never been democratically elected. That person has got no term of office. They serve until the grave, and they are not called fascists and dictators. They do so with our leaders because they want to impose on us the imperialist bourgeois democracy. That democracy is when you go for 5 years and you are done. But as young people who are engaged in this space, you have a duty to ask yourself, how did we govern ourselves in the earlier primitive society before the arrival of the colonialists? And we're not asking here of an ancient history. Very recent, you'll realize that we were able to govern ourselves without being dictated to by the white people in terms of how we must govern ourselves. Today, we must be told that a good governance is a governance that complies with IMF or World Bank. Anything else outside that, even if your people are benefiting, you are not a good leader. Actually, you are a dictator. Let's go back to Gaddafi himself before he was killed by imperialist forces. Gaddafi nationalized the oil industry when he took over Libya. And he made sure that the people of Libya receive free health care and housing. The people of Libya actually used to get a piece of land for getting married. That's why many of you will remain single, because you realize there's going to be a problem here. I'm going to marry someone, and where are we going to stay? As a way of appreciating the young ones who are beginning to establish the family unit, Gaddafi used to thank them with a piece of land. Today, Gaddafi is an enemy because he stood against apartheid and associated with all African countries that were fighting against colonialism. Gaddafi is an enemy today because he stood with the people of Palestine. Immediately when Gaddafi died, we saw Africans being taken by force in Libya as slaves, even post-colonial period. After Gaddafi died, Libya, which we're told it was under dictatorship and the most brutal man, has never known peace. It is under the group of warlords. It is under the group of terrorists, under the militia, and the people who are forcing themselves into power through a barrel of a gun. Today, one of the most unstable countries is DRC. Lumumba did not serve too long, because when Lumumba came in, they realized that this guy is going to create independence in the DRC, where the most strategic minerals are found. Since the passing of Lumumba till to date, DRC has never known peace. They will never know peace because those who are exploiting the resources of that area are the ones who are sponsoring the rebels in that area. They don't want authorities in DRC, because authorities will mean that we must also control the airspace of Libya. And when you control the airspace, you know which plane came in to do what and went out at what time. They are sponsoring rebels, doing land strips in the forests, where they land and take the minerals undetected and leave DRC. Today, DRC was supposed to be one of the most richest countries, but the imperialist forces will not allow it to be. So, Sankara was killed. And when you think Sankara was killed by his friend, that one was just the one who pulled the trigger. But there are brains behind that man who pulled the trigger, who, by the way, was a friend of Sankara. Burkina Faso would have been one of the most beautiful countries in Africa had Sankara lived long. The man who said to his people, here is the land, you must produce for the government and produce for yourself. Sankara, who loved education. Sankara, who gave our people health care. Sankara, who knew that there will never be total liberation of people if women are not liberated themselves. Sankara, who knew that a political activist must be equipped with theory of politics, because a soldier with a gun without political theory is a potential criminal. That's why political education is always important. Sankara, who said, I'm not going to be part of borrowing money from IMF and the World Bank. So these leaders, I'm singling some of them out because I want to demonstrate to you that those who seeked good for us did not stay long. If you come to South Africa, Chris Sani's crime was not because he killed anyone, was not because he was mobilizing anyone. Chris was just speaking his mind. Not because he went to mobilize the people of Alexandra, not because he went to mobilize the people of Eastern Cape against what the negotiations was talking about. He just said, this is not what we went into the bush for. If we are going to take it through a barrel of a pen and we don't fight, then you must know we'll never realize that which we went to the bush for. And they realized that this man cannot be persuaded, not even by money. And they did not waste time. They finished him off.
Yes, brothers and sisters, do you know that military court in Democratic Republic of Congo has suggested that there's a need for a death penalty for the former president of Congo, Mr. Joseph Kabila. So the military court asked for penalty death to the former president of Democratic Republic of Congo, Mr. Joseph Kabila. The issue of Congo has become critical, and let me dive a little bit into the root causes of this issue of Democratic Republic of Congo. The issue that has been challenged African leaders, African Union, and regional bodies like SADC and East African Community. Here is the truth. The issue of Congo is complex issue. The issue of Congo is difficult issue, and this issue will be resolved by Congolese themselves. Right now, as I speak to you, the M23 want to make the Kivu province an independent state. Soon we are going to hear that the Kivu is going to be an independent country. Congo is going to be divided into two countries. The Kivu province, it will be under M23, and the remaining will be under the government of Kinshasa, the government of Felix Tshisekedi. But Felix Tshisekedi has also refused to recognize a peace deal made in US and also peace deal made in Qatar, by saying those issues were not initiated by Congolese themselves, were initiated by other people. He believes that the problem of Congo will be solved by Congolese themselves. So Congo is not at ease. Congo is not at ease. Congo is at a crossroad. Congo is going to be divided. Let us look the reason behind of M23 to fight the government of Congo, of Kinshasa, I mean. We know that historically, M23 are Rwandese speaking Congolese. I think you understand. When I say Rwandese speaking, they speak Kinyarwanda, but they are Congolese. The same Africans were speaking English. You can say Africans maybe we are from UK because we are speaking English. No, English is a language. You see, when the colonizers sat down in Berlin in 1884 to 1885, they divided the Rwanda kingdom into two parts. One part remained in the current Rwanda. The another part went to Congo under Belgium. And those people with their territory, where everything remained in the territory of Rwanda. But that people didn't be displaced. No. What happened? The kingdom of Rwanda were divided. So in that side, they called Zahil, the Congolese, who are speaking Rwandese, and also the remains remain in the current Rwanda. So as time went, the government of Kinshasa seen that these people who are speaking Rwandese are not Congolese, but they forgot that these people with their territory, where their land, are in Democratic Republic of Congo. So they said, you are not Congolese, you have to go back to Rwanda. They said, where to go while our territory is this year? We have been here since then, since our ancestors. So you cannot tell us to go in Congo, in Rwanda, while we have no place, we have no land in Rwanda. So our land is here. And that's where the problem started. These people started to mobilize themselves to resist. They tried to do everything. Finally, they started to train themselves and starting to fight for their rights to remain as in their homeland, in their territory. But the government of Kinshasa under Mobutu tried to eliminate them, tried to remove them. And that's why you remember the thing of genocide happened. Genocide didn't started because of maybe it is Rwandese. No, it was initiated, created to remove these people, the Tutsis, to fight the Tutsi people. But at the end of the day, they didn't succeed. So what these people, Congolese, Rwandese speaking, are doing is to defend their territory, their motherland. So as time goes, they have seen that there's a need for them to have their own country. And that's where we have reached right now, that the Rwandese speaking Congolese, maybe I'm putting it in a bad way, these are Congolese, Rwandese speaking Kinyarwanda. Maybe if I can say like that, you can understand. Congolese who are speaking Kinyarwanda, these are M23. And are those who are saying they want an independence of Kivu province. So, but the government of Kinshasa under Felix Tshisekedi said, no, you cannot create a country. But Tshisekedi or the government of Kinshasa also refused to recognize that these are Congolese. They're still saying these are Rwandese. So that's the problem where it is. But the same, I'm speaking English. You cannot say you are an Englishman. Maybe you are from UK. No, I'm from Africa. This is just a language. So brothers and sisters, that's where the problem started. And as I speak to you now, there's a process of Kivu province to be an independent country led by M23. But the government of Congo still rejecting. President Tshisekedi is moving different parts of the world to make sure that M23 will not be recognized. But what is bad that President Tshisekedi also refused to recognize the peace deal signed in Qatar and also the peace deal signed in United States of America. So Tshisekedi said the problem of Congo must be solved by Congolese themselves. So right now, there is a hot cake in Congo. Congo is not at ease. The people of Congo are fighting each other, and it is because of resources. You know, Kivu province is rich in resources. So sometimes we have egos. When the colonizers divided Congo, the part of Rwandese kingdom that is now Kivu is the one that was rich in terms of natural resources. You see, of course, Congo itself as a whole country is rich, but this province has rare earth mineral. That's the people are fighting for. You see, so and the colonizers are using that opportunities to divide Africans, to make Africans fight each other, because they know if we are busy fighting each other, we cannot concentrate on our natural resources. What we do, we will concentrate to fight, and because we are fighting, we have no time to get into agriculture production, meaning food production. We are not engaging in work, so we have no money. So what these people are doing, because we are fighting, in order for us to have access to resources or to have to get fund to buy weapons to continue fighting, we have to surrender our minerals. That's how the deal is. So we are fighting while we are giving our resources to other people. You see, that is how things happening. These people, colonizers and these exploiters, they're so technically, they have IQ, high IQ. They know how to play the games. So we are fighting, we are killing brothers and sisters while they are taking resources. As you heard from the clip of Julius Malema, that land strip is in the bush, in the jungle, taking minerals. We, in the other side, we are fighting. Other people are taking resources. We cannot fight them. We cannot control because we are busy fighting each other. Instead, and sometimes these people are coming with guns, coming with weapons. They give us weapons. They come with weapons. They go out with resources. And this issue must be addressed in the African Union if we want to move forward. African leaders must address this challenge, must call Congolese to sit down. And that's why we have been saying we need one Africa, one united Africa. If we have one united Africa, we have single army that will go to Kiev and bring peace. We have seen SADC tried to do, but Congo rejected them. Congo expelled SADC. But who is behind Congo? Because I see Congo rejecting almost everything. Even good deals is being rejected. Maybe Congo has something. They have to be listened. We need to listen why Congo is doing that. Maybe they have something unique. So that's I think the responsibility of African Union. But African Union, do you think can do anything? I don't think so, because African Union, we know who is funding African Union. So you cannot find your sponsor. You cannot fight your sponsor. It is difficult. We know those who are beneficiaries of natural resources are the ones who are sponsoring us. So, brothers and sisters, that's the situation in Democratic Republic of Congo. Congo is not at ease. Congo is at a crossroad. So, brothers and sisters, this is our duty, Africans, the current generation, to see what we can do to bring peace in DRC. After that, let me say, have a nice time. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa.